The whole world of AI can feel, well, super complex, right? But today, we're going to break it all down. We're going to give you a clear, actionable guide to help you go from just using AI to actually mastering it. I mean, think about it. AI tools are literally everywhere these days. From writing our emails to coding up complex software, they're part of our daily lives. But here's the thing, just using them, that's not enough anymore if you really want to get ahead. Today, we're kicking off that journey from casual user to, well, a true AI master. All right, so let's jump right in. I've got a really simple three-part framework for you. First up, we're going to figure out how to choose the right tool for the job. Then, we'll get into how to talk to it effectively. And finally, and this one's a biggie, how to protect yourself from some of those hidden risks. All right, part one. And this first step is a really big one. You've got to understand that not all AIs are the same. It's kind of like you wouldn't use a hammer to turn a screw, right? Same idea here. You need to pick the right AI champion for the specific job you're trying to do. So let's put our three main champions head to head, ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. And right off the bat, you can see they all have their own superpowers. If you're dealing with really complex logic, Claude is your go-to. If you just need a solution fast, ChatGPT is probably your best bet. And if you need raw speed or you're working with a huge project, Gemini's massive context window gives it a serious edge. Okay, let's kick things off with the one pretty much everyone knows, ChatGPT. Think of it as your versatile all-rounder. It knows a little bit about everything, which makes it awesome for getting a quick bit of code or building a prototype. But, and this is a big but, its major weakness is that its knowledge isn't live. It has a cutoff date. That means if you're using a brand new technology, it might give you answers that are already out of date. All right, next up we've got Claude, who I like to call the careful thinker. Look, when you absolutely need precision, when quality is non-negotiable, and you're wrestling with some tricky logic, that's where Claude really shines. It's fantastic for debugging, and it just tends to write cleaner, more professional code. Now, the trade-off is that it can be a little bit slower and sometimes a little too cautious.
And that brings us to our third champion, Gemini, the speed demon. Its biggest claims to fame are its lightning-fast responses and a just massive context window. Now, about that context window, think of it like the AI's short-term memory. Gemini can hold about 1 million tokens, which are like pieces of words. That makes it incredible for analyzing an entire code base at once. The flip side, its output can sometimes be a little less consistent than the others.
Okay, so you've picked your champion. Awesome. The next giant leap forward is learning how to actually talk to it. And no, I'm not talking about coding. I'm talking about clear communication. And there's a name for this skill. Prompt engineering. But don't let the fancy name fool you. It's really just the art of writing clear instructions, your prompts, to get the AI to give you exactly what you want. A great prompt in plain English can honestly be the difference between a totally useless response and a game-changing solution. So one of the coolest concepts here is something called temperature. And the easiest way to think about it is like a creativity dial on your AI. If you need a super precise, factual answer, you dial that temperature all the way down to 0. But if you're brainstorming and you want something wild and creative, you crank that thing all the way up. It's a simple little slider with a huge impact. Now check this out. This is a really cool, slightly more advanced technique called few-shot learning. Look closely at the prompt. The user isn't asking a direct question at all. They're just showing the AI a pattern. Q for a description, A for a country. And boom. After just a couple of examples, the AI gets it and correctly names Costa Rica. You're basically teaching it what to do just by showing, not telling. Okay, so we've picked our tool, we're learning how to talk to it, we're on a roll. But listen, with any powerful tool, there are always dangers, and the final piece of the mastery puzzle is understanding the hidden risks so you can protect yourself and your data. 100,000. Let that sink in for a second. That's the number of stolen ChatGPT accounts found for sale on the dark web just this year. Once a hacker gets your password, they can read your entire chat history. This isn't some theoretical what-if scenario. It's happening right now. And that leads us to this massive problem for companies called shadow AI. It's what happens when people use these public AI tools for their work stuff. You might have heard about what happened at Samsung, right? It's the perfect example. Employees accidentally pasted secret company source code and private meeting notes right into ChatGPT. A huge data leak. It's a really serious danger. So what's the big takeaway here? It's actually pretty simple. You have to treat every single chat as if it's going to be made public one day. That means never, and I mean never, type in stuff like this: personal identifiers, financial info, passwords, secret company data. You get the idea. This is the #1 rule for staying safe. So with all that in mind, how do we actually put this stuff into practice? Let's build out your AI Master Toolkit with a few concrete things you can do right now to lock things down and finish your journey to expert. Okay, here's your 3-step safety checklist. These are simple habits you can start today. First, enable MFA, multi-factor authentication. Just do it. It's not optional anymore. Second, go into your settings and turn off data training. This stops the company from using your chats to train their future models. And third, for anything even remotely sensitive, use the temporary chat feature so it's not saved to your history. You know, this quote just nails it. The real fear isn't about being replaced by an AI. The real thing to worry about is being outpaced by another person who has mastered these tools to work faster and better. The power isn't just in the tech, it's in the person who knows how to use it. And here's one last pro tip for you, and it's a big one on privacy. You have to know that each of these AIs has different privacy settings by default. ChatGPT and Gemini, they'll use your chats for training unless you dig into the settings and turn it off. Claude, on the other hand, is private by default, which makes it the safer choice right out of the box if you haven't tweaked your settings. So, it all comes down to this, doesn't it? AI is, without a doubt, the most powerful tool of our time. And the question is, who are you going to be? Its user or its master? But now you have the framework. You know how to choose the right tool, how to speak its language, and how to manage the risks. You've got everything you need to go from being just a user to becoming its master.